Here we see how Slavic people build the family.
Słowianie budują gród. Już mamy tutaj dziedzin z Wawelu.
This is Krakow and Wawel courtyard. Around this place the chakra is placed.
Jak przyszli i tak 15 jasnowidzów.
Group of 15 clairvoyants came here to conduct research.
Co się okazuje, że czakram jest zablokowany.
And it turns out that chakra is blocked.
Energia czakramu to jest to złote pole, bardzo duża. Co na środku?
That yellow circle is the energy of chakra. It is very big, but dark inside. We were surprised to see that because the strongest energy supposed to be inside, the most golden radiation. And instead it is dark, almost black. We found out that around 250 meters below that place, under the wall you see on the picture, there is some kind of black stone, black ball, which blocks this chakra. When we started our research, we discovered that the dark spot inside the golden circle showed up exactly 3 days after collapse of Atlantis. So we see that the fall of Atlantis was not an accident or coincidence, but a planned action on a larger scale. We were invited by inhabitants of Krakow to investigate this case. At the back of the courtyard, we've noticed such a golden pink figure, about 2 meters tall. We called that person, and it turned out that he was one of the inhabitants of the continent of Mu. He flew one of the tunnels to Atlantis to teach people, to give them some knowledge. But when the Atlantis collapsed, he went here to the tunnel to go to his people and ask for help. But unfortunately, the tunnel was already destroyed and he could not use it to go back. With his help, we set the date for the fall of Atlantis at 7,943 years before Christ. It happened in spring, at the beginning of April. He said then that he comes from Mu civilization. You need to know that people from continent of Mu helped a lot Atlanteans in development, which is why they had these beautiful crystals. Everything worked there thanks to the help of people from Mu. Foreign civilization wanted to keep it all to themselves and stop human development. People on Atlantis lived 1200 years. Women gave birth to children under the age of 200. Even Bible says that Adam and Eve lived around that date, but they lived in Mediterranean. They lived around 1200 years as well.
Te ślady były zatarte, właśnie była zmiana
After
gęstości.
the fall of
Wszystkiego,
Atlantis,
co tam było.
all traces were blurred by changing the density of everything that was
Zrobili
there.
modyfikację DNA,
Foreign
odcięły zero.
civilization
Tak jak
modified
ludzie tam żyli
DNA
1200
and
lat,
cut
no to
one
teraz
zero
mamy
from the human age,
120 lat.
from 1200 to 120
Modyfikacje
years of
dokonali
age.
z cywilizacji Oriona, kapłani.
The modifications were made by the priests of Orion.
Lądowali
They landed every few kilometers
kilkanaście
and
kilometrów,
injected
lądowali i
into the
wszystko
occiput
kobietą,
of
prawda,
people nanorobots that
wkiwali takie
modified
nanoroboty
human
z tyłu,
DNA.
one modyfikowały DNA.
Bible also says that the first generations of Adam and Eve lived about 1,000 years, and the next ones, without any explanation in Bible, for only 100 years. So we ask him to tell us more. He says then that in 1995, here on Wawel, Apollonius of Tyana came. He was a great healer. He could raise the dead. He could heal any disease. He could change any human fate. He was born 4 years later than Jesus and lived for 90-something years. When he was 92, 93 years old, he heard a voice telling him to go to the most saint place. So he did come here, on Wawel. And he met the human from Mu civilization, who taught him a lot. So Apollonius got enlightenment.
On przekazał mu dużo jeszcze wiadomości, dzięki temu doznał oświecenia. Nad tym
After that, he came back to his land, where he was accused by Romans because he knew too much and was telling too much to people.
Został oskarżony. Jak już doznał oświecenia, to za dużo paplał, co widzi, więc został oskarżony przez
So the court summoned a lot of false witnesses and sentenced him.
Sąd wezwał.
Apollonius told them that they could tire his body as much as they wanted, but they would not get his soul. But after a while, he said, "No way, you will not get my body either." In front of 30 false witnesses and 30 judges, he began to dematerialize and disappeared. During his stay at the Wawel, he wanted to help this person from Mu civilization, and he buried his famous talisman there. He thought that his talisman, which he was using to raise the dead, would help to remove the chakra blockade that the reptilians had put on.
Myślał, że jego talizman, który wskrzeszał zmarłych, przemoże tą blokadę, prawda, którą reptilianie założyli.
The talisman only reduced radiation, but did not completely eliminate it. He thought it would rebuild the tunnel, but it didn't work. He came back to his land without his talisman. Here, above the head of human from continent of Mu, we see the energy of the talisman.
Przedstawiciela zmu widzimy właśnie energię tego talizmanu.